Hello and welcome to my Soul Talk. Tonight we're talking about the I Can revolution, and I have an amazing woman here to talk to and tell you all about her I Can decision. I don't want to say too much about it, but I do want to introduce to you the beautiful, the gorgeous, the courageous Hannah Ingram. Good evening, Hannah.
Hi, good evening, Brenda. Good evening, everybody.
It's so wonderful for you to agree to have this soul connection and this talk tonight, this soul conversation. And we're going to find out all about what it is that you are about to embark on. So, um, Hannah has made an amazing decision in her life, and she said, I can, despite all barriers from people, but she has listened to her soul. So let's hear from Hannah what this I can decision is. Tell everybody, Hannah, what it is you have decided that you want to do.
Well, I decided to pack up my life here in London, which is currently, a great life. But my son and I are going on a gap year, and actually we fly out this Saturday, so just 2 days to go, and we are going to essentially go on an adventure around the world, live through joy for 2018, and have hopefully some amazing experiences. Sure, some challenges as well, but we're ready for that, and make the most of our last sort of ditch of freedom. My son's 3, so not in school yet, and I saw this as a great opportunity for us to have that escape, and to just go and be free around the world without any commitments back here in the UK, and find ourselves, have fun.
That
Yeah.
is so fantastic because here you are, a mother with a young child of 3, and many people who'll be watching in and listening to this conversation will be thinking maybe they haven't got any children in life and they still can't make those decisions. They have a fear inside them. So I would love to hear about some of the fears that you considered before you actually put them to bed and decided, no, I can do this, I want to do this. So it'd be great to hear some of those fears that you encountered before you said, I can and yes.
Sure. Well, to be quite honest, I guess those fears have been with me for years. Before I went to university, I thought about having a gap year because that's what everybody was doing. And I thought, oh, no, 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 I must go and get a degree. And then I finished my degree, and then I thought, shall I go traveling? Oh, no, 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 I must go and get a job. So it's been put off many times. Oh, and then after that, it was, oh, I've got a new boyfriend, I better stay here and can build on this relationship. And yeah, so it's been put off many times for me, but I had my son 3 years ago, and I was on my own with him from the start, and I'd say that was one of my most exciting times of my life, because obviously I had a new child in my world, but at the same time one of the most scary, because I was suddenly on my own with a big project. And could say that it was, in some ways a low point, and I had to therefore start building myself back up. And in sort of 2 years of, let's say, soul searching, realizing that my son had come to me as an amazing teacher. I've tapped into his childlike ways and thought, no, I need to take some of these on board. Stop taking life so seriously, have fun, laugh, smile. And he's taught me so much. And towards the end of last year, I was just like, well, it's great, he's going to nursery every morning, I'm getting 3 hours a day to myself, but what am I actually doing? What am I doing to kind of leave a legacy? What am I doing to inspire him? It's okay, but it's not fulfilling enough for me. And I thought, I've got to change this up. I've got to do something kind of almost, I guess, drastic might be the word, to really mix things up and take that leap. For many people who live in London, they probably know that you know, it's an expensive city. So actually, like, even, you know, a lot of people are surviving here rather than thriving. And as much as I love London, I was like, I need to thrive. This survival is not enough. And yes, there was doubts in my head, but I thought, right, this is my last chance, or probably my last chance to go traveling. You know, once he starts school, that's, you know, 18 years of him in the school system and me there kind of supporting that.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good time to travel then. We need to do it now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what I think of you. I'm just so in awe of the courage that you've got. I have a saying in my business about brave, bold, and beautiful, and you're all of those things, Hannah. Absolutely. And I love it. This I Can revolution has just been born, and you are the epitome of that. You are not letting anything stand in the way of a dream and a vision that you have for you and your son. And I want to bring the conversation round to Morgan, Jack, and I know we've had conversations about it, but let's bring up that inner child and and explain to people listening why that's important for you and what you've learned about that.
Sure. So when Morgan was born, actually, I was just like, oh my gosh, how do you do this parenting thing? Like, what books can I get? And what book can I get to do this? And I think one of the books that started me on this journey actually was one called The Conscious Parent.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me realize, how my past, my current, and my future would have such a huge impact on my child. And like, from reading that book, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can. Of course, I'm not going to be the perfect parent. There's no such thing. But I'm going to do everything in my power to try and have as little negative impact on him as possible. But the reality is, we unconsciously as parents do have an impact on our children. And that eventually brought me around to looking at my own inner child, something that, many of us, or all of us, sorry, would benefit from looking at. I think it's amazing once you start to tap into your past. Even if you've had the perfect childhood, a happy childhood, there will still have been things that have affected you, that cause triggers in later life, that cause baggage in later life, that cause patterns throughout your life, from the friends that you choose to the partners you choose. And that actually led me to the very recent, I'm currently doing a course on inner child work at the moment. And yeah, I mean, it's taught me so much about myself.
Tell us, sorry to interrupt, but tell us a little, give us some insight as to some of the things that you've learned about your own inner child.
Yeah. Okay, so I realised that I was very much a people pleaser, that I didn't honour my own boundaries. So I was putting people before myself and then resenting it, and ultimately resenting those people. That's been a big one for me. And but then as an adult person, that's helping me now to speak my truth. To live my truth, to stand by my passions and my dreams. In some ways, I was still very kind of immature in my decision making. I put a lot of responsibility, I guess, on my parents in the decisions I was making. So, for example, they were very upset when I said that I was going traveling with my son. They're new grandparents, it's their first grandchild. Yes, they were worried about him, but also I think they didn't actually respect that it was something that I was passionate about and something that I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And it's been amazing, actually. It was about October that I decided I was going to go traveling and sort of told them about it. At that time, they were dead against it. And, it's been great since I've learned about, my boundaries and speaking, sharing my heart's desires and my truth in a constructive way rather than a reactive way. They've now come around so much, now they actually seem not happy to see us go, but, they're supportive of that. they're going to be taking us to the airport on Saturday, which at one point, my dad was just like, if you go, I just don't even want to know that you're going, kind of thing. So yeah, even in that, I can just see a shift in my own way, I guess, of managing relationships.
And do you think then, because we're talking about this inner child, do you think then that your parents are beginning to, see you as that child, but that child is an adult that's got the curiosity, that's got the playfulness, that's got the inquisitiveness, that's got the joy, that's got the love, because you're so passionate about what you're doing, and the gift you're giving to your son is absolutely incredible. And to take your son on this world tour is just phenomenal. Most parents are about that protection and nurturing and trying to keep them safe, but actually you're showing your son freedom, which we all ultimately were born with freedom, and then we go through our life trying to find it because we put all these layers on. So how do you feel the relationship with your parents has now changed?
Yeah, I think they are possibly accepting my true essence, because this, in reality, this is how I've always been. But they've seen me as the kind of the reckless one, the kind of, oh, what's Hannah doing now? But I think they're finally accepting, like, this is who she is, and she does these things like with passion, with and they understand that actually no, she doesn't just do it willy-nilly, she doesn't do it gung-ho, she actually has a reason to do it, she's thinking it through. And I do believe that they ultimately know that, of course, as much as we're going on an adventure, my son's safety is paramount as well. And I think that's the fine balance as a parent. And I'm still, even though we're going on this adventure, I'm still like trying to find that myself in the balance of obviously protecting him, keeping his basic needs catered for, but at the same time going into the unknown, because of course we can't know what's going to happen every step of this journey. But yeah, I think that motherly instinct is there that will always protect him anyway.
And you're right. And do you know what? I just love what you've said there, and I want to actually put some energy into that. You said that we don't know what's going to happen the next minute, the next hour, the next day, and yet we stay in this little safe environment, like the hamster wheel. I know we've had a conversation, and we go round and round. We're not happy, and we're not fully being who we are and who we were born to be. And you've totally embrace this whole notion of going outside of that and taking yourself and your son on a journey into the unknown. But actually we're all on that journey of the unknown, but you've decided to make yours an adventure, and I just love that whole concept that you have of this adventure. So tell us some of the places that you're going to travel to on this adventure.
Yes, so our first stop on Saturday is Ghana, which is in West Africa. It is where my birth father comes from. I've never been, and so it is somewhat of a pilgrimage for me as well, actually. It's been on the to-do list, and also, that only opened up to me really with this inner child work I've been doing and just working on myself. Because it was kind of a, I don't want to know about that, I don't want to know about that. And now I feel so open. I'm like, yeah, I want to know about that. He doesn't actually live there. So actually we decided to go and do some volunteering there. I want to get to know the people of Ghana, immerse myself in the culture. So my son and I are going to a school in rural Ghana in the Lake Volta region, a lovely sort of countryside area. And yeah, we're going to help teach the children. Morgan will go to the school. We've got tons of donations from our lovely, friends and family who've given things to us to take out their clothing, reusable sanitary towels, glasses, things that to us just seem like such normal things. But I mean, yeah, they'll make such a difference to people in this area because their lives go on, you know, for example, go on hold when they're, you know, menstruating. Girls can't go to school and things. And yeah, I just know it's going to make such a difference. And we're so excited to do that.
And actually, I find that quite interesting because we haven't talked about that. And, you know, and of course, you know, I have my charity and it's all around menstruation. So, yeah, so that's really brilliant. So we will be talking about this.
We need another chat.
We will definitely be talking a lot more about this. You know. So as well as Ghana, where else do you hope to travel to?
Yeah, so we're there for a month. We literally touch back in the UK for 2 nights and then we head out to New Zealand. And I have an old school friend there who is going to be hosting us. And we're going to hire a camper van and we're going to drive down from North Island into South Island, and just, it's no itinerary yet. It's free. It's spontaneous.
Free spirit.
That's going to be. No, that is it. Definitely, it's been unleashed now. So yeah. That one, I'm really looking forward to that. Actually, I love driving, and I don't have a car in London, so it'll be really nice to be, you know, on the open roads. Yeah, and then once we get down, we have a flight booked sort of a month later, so we just have to get to Christchurch for a flight, and then we fly to Sydney, where I'm also reconnecting with an old school friend who I've not seen since we were 17. She has twin boys who are 2, and you know, I think it's just going to be lovely. Morgan and them will have a whale of a time. She's invited us to stay with her in Sydney, but also, you know, we'll go and have like adventures around the Sydney area from her base, which again is, you know, open to interpretation when we arrive. I've had a calling to go to Australia for some time, so I'm really looking forward to checking it out. So we have 3 weeks in Sydney. And then we fly over to America, so we're heading straight to San Francisco.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah, so we touched down there. I have a couple of days actually doing some work, so I work in events, so I've been very fortunate to travel with that, but it's never free because it's on a very strict itinerary. But you know, you've got to do a little bit of work to fund these things, so I'm on an event there for 4 days, and then we head and we're going to visit a few friends in different states in America. So we're going to Seattle for a week, some old family friends, and then Houston, Texas for a long weekend, and then Denver, Colorado, where we'll spend 2 weeks as well with some family. And then we head back to the UK, and then I have another event to do actually in Tuscany in Italy. So Morgan's going to tag along, have some fun with his granny, and catch up with her while I do some work. And then we have reached the end of our booked flights. Those are the ones we've booked up to. So it takes us, you know, to the middle of July, at which point I want to breathe, see how things are going, and then look at booking our next flights, which we'd like to head to Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, and also perhaps over to South America. But I wanted to keep some things open as well, like rather than plan the whole year ahead. So, yes.
Love it. Oh my goodness, that is definitely just amazing, and taking in all those different cultures, and it's just that experience will just broaden the mind, and you know, for Morgan will be absolutely fantastic. So what I want to talk to you about now is that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and what I'd like you to talk about now is how you're going to record all of this and what your intentions are.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I made the plan for this in October, I was like, right, I set my New Year's resolution then, actually, because I was like, this is, you know, I need to focus on this. And the simple sentence was, I want to live through joy in 2018. Because yeah, I'd spent so long being stressed about money, about survival and all this. And I was like, let's change the focus. Let's think about what we have, you know, firstly, what we have to be grateful for just day to day, but also let's focus on creating more joy for ourselves. And that's, you know, when I saw a massive shift actually in my mindset. And yeah, we set off 2018, definitely, in that right mindset. And yeah, my intention is to go in with very open eyes. I'm using Morgan's eyes actually for this journey. Going through children's eyes, playful, joyful, innocent, I guess, like inquisitive. And yeah, I want to learn as much as I can. I want to take in different cultures, the smallest details that normally as an adult you kind of skim over. I will be asking him to kind of lead on things to make sure that I don't miss anything. We're going to be recording it on social media. So I have set up a page for Morgan on both Facebook and on Instagram.
And what's it called?
Yeah. So it is MJ's World Travels. Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I haven't changed it yet, so I thought I better say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's going to be World Adventure, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's definitely adventure, but I don't want to, lose people in between the change as well. So, but yeah, we have a page, and they'll definitely be able to share the links like underneath this video and what have you, so that people can find it very easily. And yeah, they're Morgan's pages, really. I want him to lead on the photographs that we post and things like that on Instagram. But yeah, of course, I'll still be doing it on my own social media and things as well. But there'll be lots of journaling going on. I'd really like to write a book at the end of it, sharing our story. Yes. Brenda's going to help me with that one. Publishing queen.
I love it all. I love it all. I'm beside myself that I'm actually part of this journey with you. It's just I feel so humbled and blessed. I'm in awe of you. You know what I think about you. But do you know what? We haven't touched on this, and I know we've probably gone past that, but I'm taking the conversation back a little bit here. What I love is the fact that, we're talking about this through the eyes of a child. We're talking about inner child. But what I love that we've had a conversation about is the fact that you are going to allow your inner child to meet your own child. That is just absolutely divine. Would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, I've realised how important my inner child is, and how I need to bring her into this as well. Because I've been way too grown up and serious for a long time. From way too, while I was a child, I was already grown up, and it's time to rewind. Yeah. So much more happens when you relax, when you laugh and things, and I've missed that bit out. So we're going back there. She is going to play with Morgan along the way, hand in hand. They can take me on the journey.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And it's something that I would really love to work with people on as well. So, I'm going out there to do the field work. I'm going to, get as many tools as possible and different ideas that can share with people, because I've seen the value for myself. I guess now, it's about showing the value to other people.
Yes.
That's what we'll do on our journey. But it's definitely a goal of mine to work with others, particularly women, because I think you can really tap into your child and use them as a like assistants. They're here to help us as much as we are here to look after and help them.
And that's such a refreshing way to look at parenting, because parenting tends to, the psychology of it is you're the parent, you're the protector, and you're telling the child. But how many parents, I haven't heard many parents say, oh, I'm learning from my child. You don't hear those types of conversation. I'm not saying that doesn't go on, but it's not the norm. It's not the norm. And I think that's quite a revolution. I've got the I can revolution, but I think you've got the inner child revolution going on there, Hannah. Absolutely. I really, really do. And I love doing inner child work myself. It's very important to recognise that and to have that inner child out in your life always, because that brings you the joy, the playfulness, the curiosity, the love, all of those things that we are absolutely we are born with. So and you've said you're going to be journaling, and that's both in video and in writing. But I know what I wanted to say. I was just trying to remember there, and it's come back to me. And what that is, and you were telling me that where you're going in Ghana, it's more a sort of matriarchal society.
Yeah.
And so what are you hoping to get out of that?
Yeah, so that's what I've always grown up sort of hearing that, that Ghana is a matriarchal society. And so I see that as an amazing, tool of introducing me to the feminine power, actually. Something that you've also introduced me to, Brenda, as well. The new thing to me. But I can see, it popping up everywhere. People looking at their inner goddess, the feminine side. And I've very much been, I'd say, on the masculine side through my life. I was in the territorial army, so part-time army basically. Personal trainer, so all very physical, quite male-dominated worlds basically that I've been in, and I've fitted into that role very well. As much as I've always say that, yes, I've been a woman, but at the same time I've not been feminine, and I've sort of thought of maybe had some negative connotations towards the feminine as well. But I think it's going to be really powerful to see the power of the women, like in Ghana, them leading the families, leading the culture, leading the societies. And that's what I'm starting to see, figures of feminine power popping up around me, like yourself. And I was really lucky to meet Brenda in a women's circle. And again, just full of powerful, beautiful women. Yeah. And it's opened up a new world to me, and that's something I really want to tap into while I'm traveling, and that's what I would be, I guess, keeping my eyes on and looking for as I travel around, because I need to learn more about it.
So it's beautiful. I just love everything, Hannah, because you're talking about the inner child and the child and relationship, and talking about your journey through the eyes of your child, and that's really going to bond you with Morgan. But equally for yourself, you're looking at all this feminine energy and how that is different all over the world. So you've kind of got you've got like the tracks, you're juxtaposing inner child with femininity, and you are going to be one damn powerful woman. You are a powerful woman already, but you're going to unleash this amazing, powerful goddess by the time you've done 12 months of travel around the world, because you will come back with so much insight and so much education, and education that you cannot get from books or whatever. You have to live it, breathe it, and this is the courage that you've tapped into. You've listened to your soul. This is a soul talk series, and tell us a wee bit how you tap into that and connect with your inner self.
Yeah, so again, even that has been a very long journey for me. I'd say my physical power I have managed to tap into is very easy one for me to tap into. I'm very sporty, and that has to some extent had to come from some inner belief and what have you. But yeah, it was the next stage for me was the real embracing the self-love. And I think that was one of the, it's one of the hardest things to do, because actually when you look around, society is not encouraging us to love ourselves. It's like conceited, it's big-headed, it's vain to love yourself in the eyes of the media. And I think that also they're putting body image things on us, and that's something that I've struggled with a lot. And yeah, it's been a long road to fall in love with myself, but I genuinely have now, and that's what's given me that last push to be like, I'm doing what my heart wants to do. Like, I'm following my dreams because
beautiful.
I owe it to myself. Like, I deserve it, and I'm going to go and get it. Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful, Hannah. It really, really is. I want to thank you very much for taking the time out. You've got 2 days to go, and you've given me a good 30 minutes here of your time to talk about your journey. I know it's important to get your story out and share it, because I know you want to touch as many lives. And I will definitely, I'll be your champion, as you know, back here in the UK, and spreading the word and getting everybody to tune in and listen to your video diaries and everything that you're doing, that you'll be putting on the page. Of course, Wi-Fi allowing and all of that, but you've got a number of ways of recording this whole experience, because this is something that has to be shared. Your gift has to be shared with the world. Absolutely. So I wish you all the best. So just remind us how we can keep taps on you as you go on your great world adventure with Morgan.
Yes, so on Instagram we're at MJ's World Travels, and also we have a Facebook page called MJ's World Travels as well. I'm also myself on Instagram, Hallie Vegan Warrior Queen as well, and I'll send you those over, Brenda, so that we can put them under the video too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll put them underneath the video for us once I've done a wee bit of magic with it.
Lovely. Yeah. And thank you so much, Brenda. It's been, truly lovely to speak to you tonight. And yeah, it's getting me even more excited for my journey. So thank you for that opportunity.
I'm so excited. I'm going on a world travels from Epsom.
Yeah, you're with me all the way. Yeah.
I'm with you all the way, girl. I'm there in spirit cheering you on, and just can't wait to see everything that's going to unfold for you and Morgan. I know it's going to be amazing, and I've been very blessed to meet Morgan, and I know he's super excited about it too. Yeah. So Hannah, thank you very much for having this soul connection and conversation tonight in the Soul Talk series with the I Can Revolution. You are definitely a revolutionary, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen at the end of this big adventure. So thank you very much. Anything you've got to say before we leave?
Yeah,
a message for anybody out there?
A message. Well, just thank you very much to all my lovely friends and family who have been supportive of and encouraged me and inspired me to continue with my dream. It has been scary, but with those that have cheered me on, you've kept me going, and we're 2 days out. There's no turning back now. We're going all the way. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what would you say to other women who tell themselves they can't do something? What would you tell them?
So you need to go inside, listen to your heart. If you have people who are not supporting your dreams, you need to distance yourself from them while you get the momentum. Look for those that are going to support you. You need cheerleaders in your life. And as soon as you start looking for them, those cheerleaders start rounding up, and they'll lift you up, and they will guide you, and they will support you on those days when you're not sure. But ultimately, the power is inside, and literally, you can have whatever you want. So go for it.
Absolutely.
Those dreams.
So thank you very much, Hannah. I wish you and Jordan all the best. So namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.